Retain gang, what's poppin', man? This your boy Tay, back at y'all again with another video. Peace, love, and abundance, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in as always. If you want to support the channel, all my links are in my description. Also, check out the Retain Gang community. It's a great place for you to grow on your journey. All right, so tap in with us. But nobody prepared us for what was going to happen next. You know, when you first went through your awakening, I know for me, nobody told me what I had to go through. Nobody told me what I was going to experience. You know what I'm saying? I had to go in head first, running, just navigating this space by myself. No direction. I won't say no direction. Physically, I had no direction, but, spiritually, I was always guided. We're always being guided, but it's just you don't know these things at the time when you first go through an awakening. You don't know what's going on, so nobody prepares you. Nobody tells you, like, this is a thing that's possible. This is something that can actually happen. And I feel like nobody's responsible for telling us. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all trying to figure out life. We're all trying to navigate this thing together. Nobody has all the answers. So you have to find your own way on your journey. I think that's the whole point. I think that's why no one is there to prepare you, right? Is because this is for you personally to figure this out. Nobody else can tell you how to figure out your own life. Because they're not you. They don't have the same light codes and ideas that you get, right? They don't have the same connection to the Most High as you do. We all have our own separate connection. You know what I'm saying? So your journey is tailor-made for you. You know what I'm saying? It's your personal journey. The things that you experience on your journey are specifically made for you. And through those lessons, you're going to learn something about yourself that you need specifically. You're going to go through something that's going to activate certain gifts within you that's been dormant. That if someone else was to go through what you went through, it wouldn't hit the same for them, right? Because you have a certain equation that you need to activate yourself. We all have our own unique equation that's programmed for us to follow. You know what I'm saying? So this awakening, bro, is something that you have to be patient, right? You have to take it a day at a time. You can't try to figure out all the answers at once. You can't get frustrated. You got to be patient. You got to sit back. You have to observe. Right? You have to be aware of yourself. That's one of the first things I learned on this journey is self-awareness. Being aware of my breathing, being aware of how I feel, being aware of my heart rate. You know what I'm saying? Being aware of the situations that I put myself in and how it's going to affect me. See what I'm saying? I didn't just go from 0 to 100 and activating all my gifts, right? It started off slow. Being self-aware of who I am, right? You can't activate gifts. You can't gain powers until you know who you are, right? When you first learn how to drive a car, they don't just throw you in there and just take you on the road. No, you got to learn about the different protocols. You got to learn the function of the car, how to use your blinkers, how to, turn your windshield wipers on. You got to learn the mechanics of the car first before you can actually drive it. You got to learn the rules of the road. So gaining self-awareness, that's the same thing for us, right? We got to learn how we operate, how this body works, how our mind works. The different signs, that we have to come across that give us instructions. We get signs every single day in our life. You see numbers, master numbers. You might see synchronicities. You might see feathers. You might see certain animals cross your path. You know what I'm saying? And to the average person, they'll say, oh, well, it's just a cat that just walked across the street, or it's just a feather on the ground, right? But you, when you're activated, you will see it, and it sparks something inside of you. It catches your attention because that's a message for you. See what I'm saying? So nobody else can really help you navigate this journey. I mean, we can pass information along to each other. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you my experience, and then I can give you that so that you can take whatever resonates with you, but you can't walk someone else's path for them. You know, and this is why a lot of times we become isolated. You know what I'm saying? And you might lose some friends, and then there's some friends who you might not be in contact with as much. But if they're your real friends, bro, you already know you can go years without talking or seeing each other, but then as soon as y'all connect again, it's like y'all never left. You can go years without seeing each other, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like y'all connect back instantly because that's your true friend. Like y'all souls, you know, are identical. I'm saying that's a part of you. That's an aspect of yourself. But you become isolated, man, so you're not distracted by outside influences. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you guys are empaths. You know, when you awaken, you start to feel everything. You become very sensitive to energy. Very, very sensitive. Right? You feel people's energy. You feel the energy of the atmosphere. If it's a lot of negativity in the air, you're gonna feel it, you know, depending on what's going on in your environment. So, you're like Kirby, you know what I'm saying? You know how Kirby can absorb people and take their powers, right? He becomes them. The same thing with us, guys. Like we, empath, when you're surrounded by people, you know, you absorb pieces of them and you actually start to become them. This is why they say, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got 4 friends who just sit around and drink all day, you're going to become that 5th. You might not think so, but the more time and energy you spend with people, places, and things, you start to become that, right? Your environment shapes who you are. What you do every single day shapes who you are. And you got to understand, when you surround yourself with people, right, you create this bubble of energy, of information that's being passed around. Okay, so when you see a group of people, they're in this energy field or bubble, and they're all passing their information to each other. So this is why friends, they become almost identical. They start talking the same, they start dressing the same. You know, they might finish each other's sentences, each other's words. They're thinking the same, you know what I'm saying? Just because you're passing the information around spiritually, right? Just because you're not speaking to somebody verbally, there's always nonverbal communication going on with body language, with energy, all right? So you absorb all that. So it's necessary for you to isolate. That way you can find yourself again and go back into default mode, right? And just figure out what your lane is, what your mission is. You know, not saying you got to be isolated forever. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you guys to be thinking that you got to be depressed, right? But there's seasons for things, seasons for isolation, and then there's seasons for, you know, going out into the world and spreading your gift, right? Then there's a season for you to go back into isolation again, to learn about yourself, to grow, to transform. And then you go back out into the world, and then you spread those new gifts that you've obtained from your isolation, right? I think of isolation like a pilgrimage. It's a time where you spend to yourself to just learn and grow, all right? Because you're never going to be in a situation or at a time in your life where you know everything, right? You might hit a ceiling in that season where it's like, okay, I've learned everything I needed to learn in this season, in this space, Now it's time for me to move on to something else, another challenge. But you're never going to know everything. It's like I finished the game. No, there's always something else to learn. So the best work you can do right now is on yourself, man. Just learning about yourself each and every day, challenging yourself. Never stop observing who you are, right? Never stop observing, because there's always something to gain from that. I'm still learning about myself, even to this day. I thought I knew everything I needed to know about Dante, but apparently I'm still learning about who I am, because I'm still growing, right? Every day is something new. Every day you're learning something different, right? Even just 5 seconds ago, I'm not the same person that I am now. Me speaking right now and giving off, this information, I'm a new person just by doing this. So I'm going to learn something new about myself after I finish this video, right? That's how fast life moves, man. That's how aware you have to be of yourself, right? To that small detail, right? It's moment to moment. You should be living your life moment to moment. This is why I say, guys, don't dwell on the past too much and bring that into your present where it's affecting your journey. And definitely don't be in the future creating negative, toxic realities. Be in the moment. The moment right now is the only thing that exists. Nothing else exists but this moment. So when you start thinking crazy, start having all these outlandish realities or futures that you see, yeah, you're painting the picture. You're creating the blueprint for your future, right? Because when you start thinking, you start feeling, what you're going to do is you're going to start playing out certain things that's going to create that reality. You know what I'm saying? You program your subconscious. So if I feel like, oh man, my future isn't so bright, you're going to start doing things through your actions that going to create a not so bright future. But if you say, hey man, I'm aligned right now, I got everything I need, I'm transforming for the better, I'm becoming my best version, you're going to start taking action, right? Subconsciously doing things that's going to bump you into that reality. So that's why I'll be telling you guys, man, just be aware of yourself all times, right? Really monitor your heart though. Because a lot of times you guys don't even know that your nervous system is overstimulated, right? Or it might be some energy around you that's creating anxiety. So your heart might start speeding up, right? Your heartbeat might be off. Your heart is going to tell you what's going on, because that's the center for your feelings, your emotions, your energy and motion. And it's always communicating with the universe. So a lot of times, guys, it's just paying attention to what your heart is doing. Like sometimes if my heart is beating fast, I'll ask why do I feel this way? What's going on? What's making me so anxious? What's making me so excited? Then I'll take control of my breathing and I'll tell my heart to slow down, right? Talk to yourself, because this is your body. You can command it at will. A lot of functions in our body is automated, like your breathing and your heart, but you can take command and you can give it instructions too. So this awakening, the first thing that you learn is self-awareness. Self-awareness leads to self-love, right? Because you start to accept who you are because you know who you are. You spend time with yourself enough to know everything about yourself, in this moment, in this season. You know what I'm saying? And when you start to love yourself, you gain more confidence. And then that confidence is going to get you on a path to start your mission, right? Or get on your mission, your life purpose. We all have one. That's part of your awakening too, is figuring out what is it you're supposed to do here. Besides what society told you you're supposed to do, what are you supposed to do? What do you want to do? Right? You can choose what you want to experience. You can choose. You have a choice for everything. You have free will. You don't have to do anything you don't want to, right? There is no rules to your journey. You just listen to yourself. You know what's best for you. You know what you can or cannot do. You don't need me to tell you that. You don't need nobody else to tell you that. Nobody else can tell you, because you're going to choose what you want to do regardless, right? You already make the choices in your life of what you want to do. Let's keep growing, man. Let's keep challenging ourselves. Let's keep pushing ourselves each and every day. Keep that momentum going, guys. The worst thing you can do is stop and allow yourself to get hijacked, right? The worst thing we could do is get out of alignment, with where we're going, and that's what happens when you get complacent. You stop being aware, you stop paying attention, and then next thing you know, you looking up, and you on a whole different timeline. And you like, I didn't want to manifest this. What's this BS going on? I don't know what this is. Well, yeah, because you wasn't focused, you wasn't aware. You let your guard down, and now you somewhere else. So making sure you stay in alignment with yourself, because I know sometimes that spiritual psychosis, it can be a lot. You start learning new things, you start waking up and seeing the truth, and it's like, wow, like, what is the point of living life? We've all been there. I've been there. You get so disconnected from life, this reality, that you in your own world, right? So you want to get to a point where you create balance. You still want to be grounded into this reality, but also you want to know that you have the power to create your own reality too. Be an observer and a participator at the same time. All right? So, guys, keep going on your journey. You know what I'm saying? Stay motivated, stay inspired. Every day, wake up and just feel good about yourself. For no reason, just feel good. You don't got to have a reason to feel good, right? Train yourself just to feel good just because you are you. Just because you're conscious, having an experience. All right? You can start off with the gratitude, but then eventually allow that gratitude to lead to just feeling good, being grateful just because. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, guys, I hope this message could reach you. Hope I could pass some positive energy to you as well. If you need to speak with me, I do one-on-one consultations. Also, let me know in the comment section what y'all thought about the video. Peace, love, and abundance.